Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight. Headlines we have the Minister of Environment inaugurates a covered market in Yoboki and Asela. For the international scene, Russians and Americans threaten repercussions. Welcome to our newsroom. On Thursday, January 20, in 2022, in Yoboki, the Regional Council of Dekhel organized an inauguration ceremony for the covered market of Yoboki and Nasala, as well as Mulud Slaughter House. The ceremony was presided by the Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Hilm, and so the participation of the President of the Regional Council, parliamentarians from the region, local elected officials, delegations from Expertise France, and the Ministry in charge of decentralization. Indeed, these projects of market of Yoboki, Asela, and Slaughter House of Mulud in the region of Dekhil could be realized thanks to the program of support to decentralization and local initiative ADIL, financed by the European Union and implemented by Expertise France in the 5 regions of the interior. During this ceremony, the beneficiaries' localities mobilized massively in the 3 sites to celebrate in the best way this inauguration ceremony. The president of the Regional Council of Dekhel, Abdurrahman Yunis Arwe, said for his part, I am particularly pleased to welcome you here today, Mr. the Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, chief of this solemn ceremony for the inauguration of the first investment in the framework of a vast program entitled Adil Support to development and local initiative supervised by the French expertise and financed by the European Union. During the day, the rehabilitation of the central market in Yoboki will be carried out, followed by the inauguration of a slaughter house in the sub-prefecture of Mulud. For his part, the Adil project leader Thibaut Gobry said that this is the first infrastructure under the control of the regional council of the work that was inaugurated. It is, he said, a real pleasure to be with you all today. The ADIL program is financed by the European Union via Expertise France, has the objective of accompanying local authorities in promoting economic and social development. For his part, the Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, His Excellency Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Hilm, has said it is always a pleasure to be with my colleague and my community. It is a great pleasure to answer the call of the President of the Regional Council as a Minister of the region, but also to represent my colleague of the decentralization of this project for which we have come today. The inauguration of this market is of a particular interest to the local community, and it is one of the first projects to be financed by the European Union. We would like to thank the European Union and the French Development Agency for taking all these local initiatives which are in line with the objectives of sustainable development. The Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Hilm, thanked the inhabitants of this locality for their warm welcome. Finally, this important delegation led by the Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa Hilm, went in the afternoon to Mulud and proceeded to the inauguration of the Mulud Slaughter House. The population of the Mulud Slaughter House. The population of Mulud also gave a warm welcome to the delegation. And we have a weather forecast for January 23, 2022, cloudy in the morning over the coastal areas, and the southeast part then will become little cloudy. This prevailing wind will be from the east, light to moderate at times. Visibility will remain very good, and the sea little to temporarily agitated. The maximum temperature expected for tomorrow are 32 degree in the western part of the country, and 30 degree for the rest of the, and 13 for the rest of the territory. The Djibouti Athletics Federation, in collaboration with Djibouti Telecom and partners, organized yesterday afternoon this 22nd edition and 15 kilometer of Djibouti Telecom, and 3 races were on the programs of the 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, and finally 15 kilometer, with the participation of several international athletes, including Ethiopia, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, and finally Kenya. This is the reason why the 15 kilometer of Djibouti Telecom changes category and becomes 15 kilometer International Djibouti Telecom 2022. The kickoff of the 3 races has interval starting with the departures of the 5 kilometer men and women, followed by the departure of the 10 kilometer men. Lastly, the kickoff of the 15 kilometer international races was attended by the president of the Djibouti Athletics Federation, Mr. Saeed Ismail Hassan, the general manager of Djibouti Telecom, Mohamed Assowe Bouh, the president of the Djibouti Olympic Committee, Ms. Aisha Garad Ali, as well as a number of representatives of partners. The course was composed of a loop of 5 kilometers, largely concentrated in the city center, and for the 50 kilometer in 3 loops. At the end of the races, the official ceremony of trophy began with the esplanade of People's Palace in the presence of the senior officials of Djibouti Telecom, as well as senior government officials and parliamentarians. The first awards were given to the winners of the 5 kilometer and 10 kilometer. He highlights of the trophy presentation was to 15 kilometer race of the first international edition. First place Ibrahim Hassan Bouha of the Republican Guard was given by the General Director of Djibouti Telecom, Mohamed Assowe Bouha. For the second place is Jamal Abdi Diriye. The award was handed by the president of the Olympic Committee, Ms. Aisha Garad Ali, followed by Muhyiddin Abdi Wa'ais of the Republican Guard. In the third place, the reward was given to him by the president of the Djibouti Athletics Federation, Said Ismail Hassan, and fourth position is still for the Djiboutian runners, the athlete Hassan Wa'is Rayale of the National Police, and finally the fifth position is for the Ethiopian athlete Moreda Dechesa. As every 2 years, the Union of Buses and proceeded to the elections of its President Friday in January 2022. 2 candidates were in the running for the positions of the namely in Ali Sabih, Aden Hersi Jibril, and Isa Ismail Awale. The election took place under the supervision of Bailiff Barroso, representatives of the Ali Sabih prefecture, including the deputy of the prefect, Muhammad Hamad Abbas, accompanied by 2 assessors, as well as the OPG of the police detachments of Ali Sabih, 120 three voters. All bus owners were registered to decide between the two candidates during this election, which resulted in the victory of Mr. Aden Hersi Jibril with a score of 69 votes against 49 votes for his rival and 5 invalid ballots. Mr. Aden Hersi Jibril was therefore unanimously elected president of the Ali Sabih Regional Bus Union for a period of 2 years. At the end of the session of the proclamation of the result, the two candidates congratulate each other. For the international scene, the Russian and Americans have an appointment next week after talks on the Russian-Western crisis around Ukraine, which is still threatening to degenerate. The Russian army campaign on the Ukrainian borders. The meeting on Friday between the head of the Russian and American diplomacy, Sergei Lavrov, and Antony Blinken in Geneva is the latest step in the diplomatic balance that began with two conversations between Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden in December. For Washington, the prospects of the Russian military incursions into Ukraine is increasingly likely, with the tens of thousands of troops deployed for weeks near its pro-Western neighbor. And to close up this edition, the Malagasy peoples are still in the waters after floods caused by torrential rains that fell on the capital Antananarivo. At least 10 people have been killed according to the provisional balance sheet released by the country's National Disaster Risks Management Office, while 500 people were forced to leave their homes. The power is cut in this region. We have to face power cuts and floods. We are never quiet when we also have to go to work. The children have to go to school. Everyone is affected, not only my house, but also all the houses of the neighborhood. Pierre-Michel Rakotoson, president of Antananarivo, said that the surge of solidarity is being organized as some 20 districts around the capital, which has 1.3 million inhabitants, are on red alert. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.